let's look at the standings. Nick, you claimed that the Lakers were always in 6th place.
No.
You've been claiming it for 2 weeks.
No.
Look, the Lakers are in 6th place.
That is, I've never claimed that they were.
I'm with you. He has played some funny mathematics on this show for the last.
I have not claimed they were ever in 6th place. I have claimed 6th place was for the taking. And by the way, I don't know if we can show that standings again, but had they won the Mavs game, this would
Had they?
They would be right now.
They.
Yes, because they would be in 6th place.
Okay.
Literally.
Do you want to give Kyrie a little love? Your Maverick saviors a little bit of love?
Sure.
Because that was a fantastic game and play by him.
Kyrie played well in that game. There's the love. Now to the Lakers.
Not enough.
So here's the reality of the situation. Because the loss to the Mavericks was devastating. It doesn't quite eliminate them from contention of avoiding the play-in, but it damn near does. And it puts it really in the specter of missing the play-in entirely. That's how bad of a loss it was. But Friday, to me, was not as, from the Anthony Davis perspective, was not as bad as Sunday was. And they won Sunday. Because Friday was a terrible 90 seconds of real time. He fouls Kleba trying to do too much. Then he misses a free throw, and he has been bad at clutch free throws all year, including a game beginning of the year. Remember when he missed two? We've seen this throughout the season.
And he's an 80% shooter from the line, so
but not in the fourth quarter and not under 5 minutes. And with a minute left, he's around 50%, amazingly. And then he falls asleep on this play here, and all of a sudden, Kleba hits the game winner. But I can get over, Brew, 90 seconds of bad basketball if he then responded on Sunday saying, this is a must-win. Had they lost Sunday, I think they would be done. Not mathematically, obviously, but I think they would have been done. You don't recover from losing 4 of 5 and losing. Yes, because you can't lose to the Rockets and the Magic in a week. And so Anthony Davis knew the stakes of the game, knew that he put it on himself that they had lost Friday, and he walked through another game. You simply can't count on him. He is great when he's great. He's just sometimes, and you have no way of figuring what you're going to get. And so I don't deny the talent, I don't deny the accomplishments, but on a night-to-night basis, you just don't know what you're getting from Anthony Davis, which is in some ways the definition of a superstar. Is he going to produce? Not necessarily every night, but you are shocked when he doesn't. I'm not shocked when AD doesn't produce, and it's so frustrating because when he does, he's so brilliant on both ends.
Yeah, I don't disagree with a lot of what you said because, and I've been saying this for a while. I don't want to say I learned it over the weekend, but it was just more confirmation. AD's not a number one guy. All right? He's a number one talent.
Okay.
But he doesn't have the mentality of a number one guy.
Then stop.
That's why he didn't take the torch from LeBron James in 2020 after winning that championship. Because he's not that guy. All right? That's why he didn't deliver. And it's not just, he had only 15 points and 11 rebounds, yesterday. Guys have subpar games, okay? But it's that AD doesn't cherish the moment. Okay? There are a lot of guys, Nick, and this is nothing against LeBron because obviously you love having LeBron as a teammate. There are a lot of guys, though, that would be like, he's out for 3 weeks. It's my time. I'm about to take over and lead us.
We missed that show.
A lot of people would cherish that. All right? AD doesn't cherish that step into the foul line. And you mentioned it, 80% career free throw shooter, 80% this season, but you said in the last minute, it's like 50%.
In the last minute, he's around 58% in clutch situations. In the last 5 minutes, he's down around 65% in clutch situations. It's the worst.
He was 8 for 11 from the line in this game. But yet, in the last, with 6 seconds left and a chance to at least put him up by 3, he misses one. He goes 50% to your point. He doesn't cherish those moments. And this is why, like I said, it's why he didn't take over. And you remember New Orleans, 6 years in New Orleans, 6.5, made the playoffs twice, won one playoff series.
He was still the guy. He was the man in New Orleans.
Yes, as the man, they won one playoff series in 6 years. Now, I know there were some injuries to himself and other players, but that's my point. So when LeBron's gone, And if they want to keep AD, which you should unless you can make a great trade for him, they got to bring in a dog to play with him. You know, you can't just be like, okay, AD's our guy and we'll build around him. We're going to be great and contending. No, you got AD who is great, but you got to go get like a Kyrie type, you know, somebody, not necessarily Kyrie, but somebody that is that
Wants
leader
the
and that dog, a Lillard,
Austin
that type
Reaves.
of guy.
Sure.
Austin
If he
Reaves
has
was
the
alpha.
talent, put Austin Reaves' mentality in AD's body and you got something.
So I have a bone to pick with both of you.
Sure.
You always say you believe in the Lakers. The Lakers could be dangerous because they have 2 top 10 players. AD's one of them.
Yep.
And then under the pyramid, even though, as
Had
you
him in
know,
the top 10.
yeah, but it doesn't go left to right. But I still,
No, but he was top 10.
Still top 10.
Yeah.
So you're saying you can't rely on him. So are you willing to make an impromptu adjustment to your pyramid?
Well, here's the problem. The problem is if we can show, I don't know if we can.
Probably not.
Wildes tries to jump
next
me
5.
with things, but it doesn't
your own
tell
graphic.
the graphics
It's not-
department the rung beneath it. So the rung beneath it, based off memory, Dame's on there.
Donovan's on there.
Donovan is on there.
Booker.
I think Booker is on there. I'm not sure if Paul George is on that one or the next one. Shea, I think, is on there as well. It is tough for me with Anthony for 2 reasons. One is his peaks are as high as any of those guys other than Dame. And he is demonstrably, even on off nights, such a more impactful defensive presence than those guys. So, yeah, if we want to say instead of they have 2 top 10 guys, they have a top 10 guy in LeBron and a top 15 guy in Anthony Davis, so be it. But it's still, once you get outside of that top 10, 12, 13, it is guys that are great players, but if they're your best player, you're in real trouble, or at least you don't have a championship ceiling. Dame's team is the 6th worst team in
I was gonna say,
basketball
that
right
next-
now.
that whole next row is like
Shea's team might miss the playoffs, no matter how great excellent he's been. Donovan's team's really good, but
they're not
nobody
gonna
thinks
win
they're
the
going to win the
championship.
title.
Right.
But here is what is frustrating. And Brew, can we show you guys the Lakers' next 6 games?
Oh, yeah.
So, because their final 4 are brutal, I think we can show you their next 6 games. I hope we can. If not, I can. There we go. If they want to have a real shot at avoiding the play-in, and if they want to, at the very least, guarantee themselves a spot in the play-in, they have to go 4-2. And if they want to have a shot at the 6th seed, they have to go 5-1.
5-1's off the board.
I don't know that. Here's the thing. The Bulls are not good. The Timberwolves, we don't know what Anthony Edwards' status is. And the Rockets are still the Rockets, even though the Rockets have gotten a couple good wins in the last week, Lakers and Celtics. The Thunder, we'll see. That's a critical game. And the Thunder, by the way, it should be noted, that is their 3rd game in 4 nights, all against L.A. They go Clippers, a day off, Clippers again, and then the very next night play the Lakers. So that's a game they should win. And then obviously the Suns game's a really tough one, but there's no Kevin Durant. That is going to be, to me, the litmus test of how much is this team, should it be taken seriously other than the playoff hopes being maybe LeBron will have a 2018 type of performance, which I don't think is realistic to ask from him in 2023. Because in 2018, he took a team that was not any good.
He doesn't need to be 2018 LeBron.
But if they can't,
you got AD.
But my point is, if they can't string together in the most critical time of their season, when they're the 10 seed with 10 games left, against a soft 6 games, 4 out of 6 wins, then he does need to go 2018.
First of all, he can't be that guy. Secondly, he doesn't need to because 2018 had nobody close to AD. With all his warts that we just pointed out, he's still arguably a top 10 player and will bring it on many nights. And the thing is this, Nick, and everybody in the West has questions.
Yeah.
That's not an overstatement. Every single contender has questions. So if LeBron comes back, then they'll have a shot.
Tonight will be good for the Lakers in that Minnesota's playing in New York. They're going to lose. Sacramento's playing in Utah. I think Sacramento will win. We'll see what happens with Golden State. They're on the road against Houston, though. Maybe they can get a road win. I don't know. And Dallas plays Memphis. But there is a chance the Lakers move up today by virtue of not playing. But then they got to start winning some games, not just Orlando squeaking it out.
LeBron missed his 11th game in a row last night. Darvin Ham said, you know what? Might see him before the season's over. Take a listen. Okay. You optimistic?
About him coming back, or I think he'll
and
be
playing well.
I think he'll play fine. All right. I don't, like I said, I don't think 2018 LeBron, but I think he'll play fine. The question is how quickly he fits together with his guys, which I think will be fairly quickly because he's smart and they got shooting and they got defense, which are things you want around LeBron, and they got a second star in AD. And I mentioned this, every team's got questions. I want to say what they are quickly. Sacramento obviously is young. Denver's now lost 5 of their last 7, and they're not a very good defensively.
No.
I mean, they're mediocre at best defensively. So they got issues. Memphis, Ja, obviously. Phoenix, KD, and the chemistry, similar to the Lakers. Right? Like, you got KD coming back to play with his teammates that he really hasn't played with. LeBron's going to be coming back. Obviously, he's played with AD and some of the others. But they got a lot of new guys, and he's going to have to fit with those guys. Dallas, the defense, the chemistry, Luka's still been out. And Golden State, can they win on the road? And the Clippers, they are, you hate to say the fewest questions, but they got Russ. They got to deal with Russ, and they played him again down the stretch yesterday. No, it might be. Look,
Bruce,
the West
making
is
a
so
comeback?
wide open. I'm just saying, I'm watching the Clippers.
Hold on. Okay.
Clippers looking all right.
I mean, Bruce's
It's
wandering
open.
eye knows no bounds. Brew for every.
Hold on, I never changed off my Warriors pick.
Oh, well, you should.
If,
Brew,
if I
you
put them
should.
on the graphic
You
saying they
should.
only had a 3% chance of winning
Brew,
the
you
finals,
should go off
would
the
you say I
Warriors
didn't
pick.
pick them?
But let me
That's
talk
where your
about
Mavericks are.
LeBron for a moment here.
He just changed the subject.
No, I'm just talking about.
Just ignore it. Don't even, what?
Brew is like talking.
even happen.
Give Kyrie a compliment.
He wants you to
You
bail
want
on
me to
him.
I know.
talk
I'm
Mavericks.
trying to help
Put him
you
in the show. Right now it says we're talking Lakers, so I'm going to do what Stephen Hubbard, our producer, wants me to do and talk Lakers. So the final week of the year is the earliest LeBron would be back. And by the way, I showed you how soft these next 6 are. The final 4 in the final week: Utah, at the Clippers, home for Phoenix, KD might be back, and then home for Utah, game 82. That's a tough final 4, especially if Utah's in it. And it involves a back-to-back at Utah and at the Clippers. Now, Chris Haynes reported this weekend that Anthony Davis will play in that back-to-back.
Oh, well.
It seems
to make the playoffs. You know what?
Heart. What grit.
But I think it's
down
safe
and
to
play.
I think it's safe to say LeBron, if that's his second game back, is not playing in that back-to-back. LeBron's not coming back from the foot injury and playing his back-to-back immediately.
If they need to make the playoffs, or if it's for seeding, you don't think he'd play?
I don't think that if you
Maybe not just
that if his
seeding.
first game, it depends on when he
would
comes
play.
back. But I don't think his first 2 games back are going to be on back-to-back. My point is this: I think LeBron's going to play at maximum 3 regular season games for this team. Maximum 3 regular season games, whether it's games 80, 81, and 82, or 79, 81, and 82. And which is why this next stretch is so important. If that happens, though, I will say this: I like their top 8 guys, bro. LeBron, Anthony Davis, D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reaves coming off the best game of his life, Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt, Dennis Schroeder. There are your top 7.
Yeah.
You then have, depending on the night, Hachimura or Gabriel, if you want to go bigger, Troy Brown. We'll see if Mo Bamba ever comes back. As again, because in the playoffs, you're only going to play 8 or 9 guys. You really only should be.
I mean, what are we doing?
Wildes, what we're doing
Well,
is...
what we're doing right now is hurting your brand, to be 100%.
What do you mean?
You know what they call you? Mr. Consistency.
Yeah.
So we either got to be, you know what? Might miss the play-in, or I like him for the title.
No.
Mr.
No.
Consistency,
He
I hold you to a
said
high
both.
standard.
No, I
That's
did
what
not
I'm saying.
Hold on a second. What I will
You have
not,
said both.
what I
You got
will
the
not
nerve to
stand
talk
for
about me.
on this Monday is
Jeez.
being misquoted. What I am saying is I am not confident that they will handle their business over these next 6 games while LeBron is out, because we don't know on a day-in, day-out basis what you're getting from Anthony Davis. However, if they do handle their business there, they will be fine. They will be in the playoffs in some capacity. Right. And when LeBron gets back, I like the makeup of this team with him there. Can they survive without him? We're about to find out.
I wanted to clarify.
You're not clarifying anything.
But
you ain't got a pick,
I
buddy.
think it was more goobly goop.
I
mean, I don't know what he said. All right.
I thought it was good. I thought it would clarify.
Really? I thought it was Mike missed the play-in.
You know
Mike
what was
win it.
interesting?
I thought it was
LeBron come back after those Pat Bev games, though. Oh, back-to-back against the Bulls. You want to avoid those. I'll be in
The
the
Bulls are
cryo
going to be playing
chamber
for a
with my
player
ankle.
spot, Nick.
The Bulls
They're going to be
stink.
hungry. They're going to be hungry, though.
Pat Bev scored 14 straight points. You see that?
You love Pat Bev.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.